I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 24th day of May. Feels like the 24th day of June out there. Hot. Let's take a look out the window. Some of the Skycam shots. First off, coming from Tuscaloosa. Looking east from the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse, the sky mostly sunny, just a few fair weather cumulus clouds around. Hey, that looks good. Mount Cheahaw. I'd love to be up there on a hot day. Always a few degrees cooler. In fact, they're in the 80s up there, while most other folks are well up in the low 90s. And from Cullman, that's looking east from the water treatment facility just east of downtown Cullman on U.S. Highway 278. Off in the lower left, you can see the water down there of Lake Katoma. Well, we got a big trough in the west where temperatures are pretty cool. Very warm ridge over the Great Lakes. Upper low off the Atlantic coast. And in between a variety of weather, really the most active weather is just east of that trough axis. And you bet your buddy it's warm. Look at Tuscaloosa, 93 at 2 o'clock. Goodness. Makes you wonder what it's going to be like in August. Birmingham at 90. Numbers not as bad for Anniston and Gadsden. We've got 84 for Gadsden, 86 for Anniston. And really, the reason it's cooler over there, it's this wedging type thing. Look at the temperatures around the nation. You can see readings are only in the 60s and the 70s down across parts of the Carolinas. And that wedge trying to nose in here from the east. But, again, we do think we'll be cooler tomorrow with highs in the mid-80s instead of low 90s. I think no doubt this will be certainly one of the warmest days this week. Check the radar at 240. Got some convection up there in northwest Alabama. Up through parts of Colbert and Lauderdale counties. Got a couple of isolated showers as far south as Winfield. And one up around Lynn in Winston County. And we'll maintain that chance of isolated showers and storms this evening. Those are sagging to the south very slowly. But the big action is clearly off to the west. Look at all the watch boxes all the way from the Red River, the Big Bend and the Rio Grande of West Texas, all the way up to the Canadian border. And all those red boxes, those are tornado watches. Count 4 of them in effect this afternoon. Wind advisories out there, and back in the cold air, winter storm warnings for parts of Montana. And all of the counties you see around here, those dots, I think those are some older warnings that are still in the system. We've got no really active flood warnings around here. We'll check the convective outlook. This is for the rest of today and tonight. We've got a moderate risk for parts of the high plains centered on South Dakota. A slight risk surrounding that all the way from West Texas up to the Canadian border. And a little pocket of cold air aloft kicking off some thunderstorms around the Mid-South. There's a slight risk for Memphis and the adjacent parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and northwest Mississippi. There's the radar coming from Memphis at 244. Pretty active storms in through there. But once the sun goes down, those should slowly fade away. Tomorrow, a slight risk out west again, and one way up there. I mean, way up there for the northern tip of Maine. Here's a QPF chart, rain for the next 5 days, suggesting not very much around here. This is valid through Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, really a minimum across Alabama with better amounts to the east and west. And I think that's right. No doubt now, understand there could be isolated showers or storms almost every afternoon here this week, and perhaps tomorrow will be the best coverage of scattered showers and storms, but even tomorrow is certainly not going to rain everywhere. And a quick peek out at the tropics. Hurricane Center still watching that broad upper low east of the Bahamas. And it's certainly not a tropical system now, and I don't know if it can achieve true warm core tropical characteristics. They might try and call this thing a subtropical storm, but if so, it'd get the name Alex, but I'd say it's doubtful. And should not affect Alabama. It's going to go out there and do a loop and ultimately move out to sea or just fizzle out off the Atlantic coast. But a little preseason mischief. We'll check the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow. You can see the 588 warm heat ridge well to the north, upper low to the east, and that thing noses in here. So again, tomorrow with an easterly flow down below, we think that the highs will drop back into the mid-80s, and the moisture should be a little deeper, so that will mean some risk of scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, pretty much the same deal. The air is moist enough to warrant some risk, probably just a small risk of an afternoon shower, but I think many places will be dry. Our system in the Gulf not in the Gulf, the Atlantic just kind of hangs out there. Thursday looks relatively dry. Highs nosing up there toward 90 again. And Friday, we note the ridge axis is in retrogression, moving to the west, and we've got a northerly flow aloft. And again, often when you see that in the summer months, that can open the door for convective masses north of us to move in here. And at the surface, you can see a surface boundary north of us, and that might mean some risk of showers and storms late Friday or Friday night. No doubt about it, the chance is there. But often things like that are mesoscale driven, and we're not going to know much about it until we get awfully close to that. And then Saturday, starting off the weekend, that boundary kind of eases in here and fizzles out. And again, the run we showed you this morning was dry as a bone. This run suggesting there might need to be some risk of isolated showers on Saturday, and we'll take a look at that as we go along this week. And Sunday, same deal, some evidence of a surface boundary stalled out near Interstate 20. And maybe a few scattered showers around for the southern two-thirds of the state. But again, I certainly would not be worried about a big rain event for the holiday weekend if you got something planned outdoors. And Monday, which is Memorial Day, that's a week from today, things look pretty quiet. Temperatures would be in the 80s if this is correct. We'll jump out there toward the end of the forecast, June 9th, and look at the trough over the east. A fairly fresh northwest flow aloft. And that would be certainly nothing excessively hot. In fact, that could be cooler than average out there for June. But again, we've seen all kind of looks, and that's just one idea. That inevitably will change a number of times before we get there. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.
Weather.